Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Automation Star 2025 here in Amsterdam. We are now, it's getting kind of darker. I mean, we're Northern Europe, it's 4 something
What
p.m.
is it? Yeah.
and 4:30, and we're already starting to see the day is ending and the conference is about to be over for the day. And I have one last thought leader, great interview that I wanted to bring you to talk to. And I'm going to try again. Let's see if I don't butcher the name. Jutta Eckstein?
Perfect.
Okay.
That was perfect. Yes.
Really? Or
Yeah.
you're just being
Yeah.
kind?
No, I'm never kind. I'm German.
You're very honest. That's
Yes.
important. So, welcome to the show. How are you?
Very good. Yeah. Very chilled now after my keynote.
Yeah, the
And
stress is
so,
like
yes, right.
over.
It's all good.
It's
Uh-huh.
good that you are now more relaxed. That we get like a um, it's like a weight on your back, right? Until you're done, you're like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
better.
Kind of.
So before we begin with this conversation, for the people that do not know you, would you mind sharing a little bit who you are, what do you do, what makes you special?
Oh my God. I never know where to start and where to end. So, yeah, I work as a coach, as a consultant. I also, as I did here, I'm a speaker and an author. I have written and co written maybe 5 books or so. Um, I'm mainly around in the agile field for quite some time. So everything around agile software development
Hmm.
is kind of where my home base is, if you
Specialty.
will. Yeah, maybe. And I started early on to look at how Agile works. Well, now we all say if it's scaled up, like that famous framework, right? Or if we are working in a distributed setting. However, I was, and that was actually my very first book. I was looking at this in 2004. So in 2004, I published
Wow.
my first book, which was on scaling Agile.
Uh huh.
And you can imagine at the time nobody was interested in it because it was a bit too early.
It's
Yeah.
barely on the days that we were starting to listen to the extreme programming and some
Yes.
agility and some of
Yes.
that. Like,
Yes.
uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember I was a developer on those days, and like, Agile was that thing?
Yeah.
Like, but it would be like that weird, far away
Yeah.
term
Yeah.
that you would
Yeah.
hear.
Well, the thing is, I at that time I was, well, when it all was created, I was a Smalltalk developer, so the program language Smalltalk, if some people know it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I also had been in the patterns community, so, like the gang of for the books about design patterns and so on,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole agile stuff has been created or is found on these two communities, so Smalltalk and patterns, and that's why I knew about that. I think I learned about XP in 96 or so. So you can also tell I'm old.
No,
Yeah,
you're
you have to say that you are
experienced.
nice, but yeah,
Your experience is a different.
it's all good. Yeah.
No, but it's I like always to have the perspectives of someone that was there when things started,
Mm-hmm.
when almost no one was adopting them, and
Right.
I was one of them. Like, no waterfall, like all my PMP training, and I had to get a good use of it.
Sure.
And it was like, no, how are you? It was ridiculous for me. Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna release multiple times? Like,
Uh,
but on those days as well was this thing like not only the methodology itself was very hard,
yeah.
but I think that the technology did not allow it enough in
That
those
is true.
days.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why it came from Smalltalk, because the Smalltalk infrastructure allowed a lot of that stuff already. So it wasn't like such a big deal then with other languages.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
remember on the waterfall days we were dealing with some .NET projects or
yeah,
like the big installers into the
right.
server and
Yeah,
the release. It was a big pain, and you
yeah,
didn't want it to be doing that every 2 weeks or
yeah,
the
yeah.
standard sprint duration, right?
Right, right.
But it's so right away you got hooked with all the agile things and you liked it and you
Yeah,
started to get good
yeah,
at it.
right.
And did you get any like challenges on those days to get to the point where like Nowadays you speak agile and it's more like at the beginning you
Boring.
were pushing and it was the
Yeah.
weird thing, then the cool thing, new thing, and now it's boring, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, definitely things have changed. And you could also say at the very beginning, it was working almost only with people who really want to try this new stuff. So the innovators, if you
Hmm.
will. And then there was a time which I thought was on the one hand cool, but it was very demanding. It was almost only used in projects where which struggled like hell.
Hmm.
So, which is a typical thing
When
about
there's no other way,
change, right? You start changing because there's no
you
way
have
you
to.
can keep doing the same thing, right? You need to do something
Hmm.
different. And so then those people, companies were open to just, we want to try anything. We just have to get out of this shit. Sorry.
Don't worry,
But
don't worry.
yeah, yeah. So, and that was on the one hand very cool because certainly the impact was great. Yet on the other hand, yeah, as I said, it was super demanding because all these projects that, yeah, were in such a pain. Yeah, you still feel the pain yourself then as well.
Did you have to deal with many of the misunderstandings with agile? Because many organizations that were in pain
Hmm.
situations were like, okay, we don't see any other way. We have to adopt this agile thing.
Hmm.
We have to.
Yeah,
Oh, it's no documentation. It's you
yeah,
don't do any. You just push, push, push. And
yeah, yeah,
did you deal with some of those? And
yeah.
how was the
Well,
experience? Like,
yeah, it's interesting to see. The one thing is I never jumped on one methodology. So I was never like, okay, Scrum or Safe or anything. So for me, Agile was always more like the value system and
the
what is it,
principles.
yeah, the principles and what is needed for this particular client in this context we are in. And that's also how I did always all my trainings when I got asked to help them to do, and that at times was also that somebody from the management said, oh, we have to do that because we heard this is what we do now. And still what I always did was I started with a retrospective. I never got in and said, okay, now we're doing things completely different and whatever you did before was stupid, because that's what you actually do. If you say, you might not say it directly, but that's kind of what you do if you start a training and say, whatever it is, let's say
I'm here to
Scrum,
change
this
you
is
all.
right, right. And that clearly also means whatever you've done before
It's
wasn't
bad.
good. Yeah.
Let's change
And
it.
yeah, and so if you start with a retrospective, which I think is a very strong thing for any kind of change, you can always start with like, okay, what has worked for you so far and you really want to keep, and what's missing and what's hindering you, and so with all these kind of classical retrospective questions, so and I'm really going back to original retrospectives, not just a plus minus something, then typically what's falling out there is a actual process,
Hmm.
because that's typically what people know would help them to to get up to speed, then get their stuff going. And yes, that method probably doesn't have a name.
It's interesting because sounds like you are agilizing their agile journey.
Yes, yes,
You are making
yeah,
them
yeah,
use agile to
yeah,
become agile.
yeah. And
It's weird.
right, and at the same time it also means they own the process, and it's not me saying this is how it's working, so it's them saying, well, this is what we need to do actually. And then
And
you
you
have the
you
buy-in.
realize that it's important, not
Yeah,
because on some organizations I saw that there was like I did it. I did the pushback. Like, no,
yeah,
this new thing. Why are you trying to
yeah,
change me?
yeah,
My waterfall is awesome. I now have my a change request, and I can change the scope, and it's better
right,
and blah. And that gets me to this point. It's 2025, and you
yes,
were saying like agile is the old thing now.
yeah.
Do you think that organizations are embracing it well? Still, it's 2025.
Yeah, I do think so, actually. Um, of
But you
course, well, the
are.
thing is, again, I said I'm old. I have seen a lot. And what I always recognize when something is getting successful, then it also means a lot of it's abused a lot.
I like that term. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
always like that.
Hmm.
So it was okay. Now you can really tell how old I am. It was in the days when we started being so excited about this object orientation thingy. And well, on the one hand, you could say almost everyone is doing it now, and on the other hand, you could also say, well, I said before, I used to program in Smalltalk. The ideas we had there, I don't see them anymore. And
Yeah,
maybe
no,
it's
you.
not needed. That's also a thing. I don't know. But the thing is, yeah, if something gets successful, well, everyone says, well, we are doing it. And whatever they do differs tremendously from the original idea. And this is what I see with Agile as well.
It's interesting because you got me thinking on some of the organizations wanting to this chase to define agile. Like, no, I'm the safe type. I am the, I don't know, Scrum type, and I'm the. I'm like, why do you want to kind of label it or encase
Mm,
it? And I
right.
think
Yeah.
that that goes along a
Yeah.
little bit with these abuses. Or
Yeah.
you made me think like, yeah, object oriented. Now we have C++, ooh, and
Yeah. Yeah.
objects and
Yeah.
things.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
do, what was this game? Age of Empires.
Yeah.
Each
Yeah.
one of the characters is an object. Everything is an object. Object, object, object.
Yes. Right. Right.
And with
Right.
Agile, that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Well, and now back to your question. So, one of the topics I've also looked into was how to, well, become and benefit from company-wide agility. So that, which is really more than looking at software. It's more than, well, if you think the board of directors now thinking of having a backlog or a scrum master, this is not really helping. But being agile also in the sense, um, can we decide on the budget when we need to decide and not like a year before and put it in all the different buckets, and now when we see we really need to do something, we can,
And let's
because
spend it at the end so that the next one is
right,
like a
right, stuff
just
like that, right?
continuous.
Yeah. Or also, are we open to think of our people in the company as people with potential, or do we put them into boxes where we say, this is your job description, and you're staying in this box? The other thing would be, well, we look at, well, what is your
That's not the
potential,
point.
in which direction could you go, and does this maybe help the whole company go into whatever direction, and deal with all the challenges. So that's what we mean, and I say we because I also wrote a book about that with a co-author, John Buck. What we thought about this company-wide agility, really, if you think kind of agile in the literal sense, more the adaptive, flexible, and
It's like
so
a
on.
company-wide cultural adoption or
Right.
mindset
Yes.
shift.
Yes. Yeah.
Because everywhere, everything, and I'm happy that you're mentioning as an example the budgets.
Yeah.
This was like a waterfall year by year, like the
Yeah.
year release of the budget.
Yeah.
Let's do, and some organizations. I mean, I remember my wife having to do 5 year projections to get the
Yeah.
budget
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you
Exactly.
know what is going to happen the next 5 years? Just measure it continuously, and like that's the
Yeah.
process, and
Yeah.
that's how organizations
Well,
go.
my best example right now is we all think, I know we have been there. Like in 2019, people settled their budget for the next year, and then in March,
Oh,
the pandemic hit, and whatever has happened to the budget was just, you could completely forget about it.
but now we have
So
to wait to 2021 to fix the
yeah,
budget.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
silly.
yeah,
I love the example.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
really good.
right. And actually, this whole thinking about company-wide agility also b- brings me a bit to why I'm here. So for that
You
keynote,
presented a
because
keynote. What was the main
yes,
message? The
right.
title of the keynote. I
It's,
like the title a lot.
oh, do you remember the title? Because I don't. So something
I have my notes.
sustainability.
I have my
Well,
notes.
let me bridge this. So when we talked about company-wide agility, the thing was that we said, okay, but we saw some companies doing that, right? So they lived that, and but then we also saw that this brings an expectation to the companies, because if you're saying you are an agile organization, then people think, well, for example, you have to be inclusive, or you are paying fair, and Agile doesn't say that, but this means that these companies also have to think about sustainability, and
Hmm.
this is the topic. And now you saw, what was the title?
Faster, faster, safer, more sustainable. The green revolution in software testing.
Ah, yeah, the green revolution, right? This is how I said that.
Sustainability,
Yeah,
because
so
it's also
right. So sustainability is my big topic now for the last 7 years or so, where I think, especially we in IT, we can do a lot, really a lot, to make our systems also more sustainable. And I really mean it also in the sense to reduce the carbon footprint. What not many people know is that this is now for 2 years, so 23 was the year where IT has uh, overtaken, is that the right form? At
has surpassed
the aviation industry in terms of carbon emissions.
carbon
So we have
footprint.
more carbon emissions than the aviation industry, and we still talk a lot about, well, flying is a good or bad,
And that's
but
2023. We are
yes, right.
2025. That has gone way
Exactly.
higher.
So we have a responsibility, all of us who are in IT, and we really should start thinking about what we can do, and start doing stuff.
It's something that bugs me because and this is a silly example, but I remember buying my first computer. It was like a Pentium 1 and maybe 500 megabytes of RAM, 512, 21, 20, 512. And I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And 2 years later, I had one that was twice the size,
Yeah,
twice
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah,
but it was slower
yeah.
because the software that was being created
Yes,
wanted more resources. Now
yes.
let's get more creative
Right.
and the
Right.
transparencies. And I think we're doing that nowadays.
We are doing this as well, and we all suffer from it as well. So I think about when you bought your last mobile phone, probably your smartphone. You bought it because on your old one the OS wasn't supported
It was
anymore,
already
the
slow.
apps
It's
didn't work properly anymore. So it was the software that forced you to create electronic waste,
hmm
to put it bluntly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we do often the same in our industry, that we force our clients to throw out their old hardware just so that the bright and wonderful software we are writing is really running great.
My
But
wife was
yeah,
asking me like, why do you want the PlayStation 5? Don't the 4 does the same? This is like a steal. Why do
yeah,
they force you to buy
yeah,
the new one? I'm
yeah,
like, but
right,
the new games have the better graphics and things.
yes,
And she likes the better graphics, by the way. And she's like, yeah, those are important. But I'm like, why don't the retro games, like something that truly does what we need,
yeah,
and not to get like the fancy sprinkles, I call them,
yes, yes.
just wasting resources
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, right. And again, we do this also in other business software. It's the same, and we should start thinking about that we shouldn't push our clients to create electronic waste.
And that's like a physical waste,
Yeah.
but the carbon
Yes.
emission as well,
Yes.
because there are so many
Yeah.
impacts, like creating
Yeah.
the electronics, manufacturing them,
Yes.
the disposal of electronics. That's a big problem.
Well,
But
it goes all the way. It also needs raw elements, and so it's the mining, and it's all, if you will, just because we think our software runs better on a faster machine, a new machine, or so. So
but
there's
but
stuff we can do.
it's like a blurry line where, oh my God, our software has now these many more capacities and capabilities, but some others like, yeah, but do you really need it to be translucent and just waste
Yeah,
CPU
yeah,
cycles and making it like
right, right.
prettier? Or but it's at the same, yeah, but I don't want to still be working on an old green terminal
Yeah,
that it was
yeah,
really
yeah,
difficult
yeah,
to.
yeah, sure.
So it's an interesting middle ground.
Yeah,
And I'm curious, what's your perspective, the elephant in the room, AI?
yes. Ah, yeah,
Because
okay, yeah.
carbon footprint wise,
It's huge. It's huge. Well, this is really a topic by itself. Yeah, AI comes with a huge, huge footprint, and in many ways. So energy demand, mining, e-waste,
Even some areas
freshwater
in some.
usage. So
Mhm.
you know, it's like everything. Um, so still, I always want to be an optimist, and I stay an optimist. I don't want to give up on that. And so what I do see is that some of the models, there are some models now available that have a better carbon footprint than some others. So we can also look at which models are we base our stuff on. That's the one thing. The other thing is, well, I also think AI is here to stay, and
Yeah.
AI will also be a thing that will help us to create more sustainability. The question is, at the moment, does it do more harm than it helps? I think it does do more harm at the moment, but that can change. And if you think of like digital twins, or climate models, or monitoring weather, or bringing out fertilizers to the really distinctive plants and not throwing it over the whole field. This is all stuff that's super important and we need to do, and it's I think almost only possible to do it with AI. So it has these two sides as well.
You made me think a lot on the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah,
When it happened at the beginning, everybody was excited, picking it up. Everything was coal based. And of course, it was polluting a lot.
yeah,
London was horrible
yeah.
on those days. But then we started to evolve and make it easier. I don't know. This is a huge topic, everybody.
It is.
And just to wrap up, because I didn't notice we already exceeded a little bit the time, uh, Yuta, Yuta, what would you recommend for? I mean, here's an automation, and automations we gotta be careful as well with being mindful. What would you recommend to the QA engineers that are watching us to take into account for these changes and all that you are seeing?
So what I think is how we should all start is asking different questions.
Uh huh.
So we should really consider sustainability as a quality attribute, as like performance. You know, it's just one
It's
of the
one of
many
the attributes
things.
on the requirement. You
Right,
don't make it.
right.
You don't move it to done until you
Exactly.
take it that into
Yeah,
account. I like that.
yeah. Right.
It's really, really good recommendation. Taking into account those type of sustainability. Many are just like, how much money is this in terms of cloud credits or tokens for AI now? But truly think about the impact and make it part of your requirement, your little post-it that you have.
And actually, if you do that, you might even save money. So it's you can also invest in sustainability for a profit. So it's not only that you think, okay, and we don't have the money, but you can start doing that as well. Yeah,
It's a good departure point.
yeah.
And now to wrap up with this great recommendation, everybody, please. We only have one planet, one place. No matter if they are saying like we're gonna get to Mars,
Mars.
I don't. It doesn't sound appealing for me to go to Mars. I like Cancun or some beach here that hopefully it's still good. And to follow up with you to look for your books if someone wants to read them, where can they get in touch with you, find your books, or
Yeah. So the easiest is find me on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and
Check
then
it out? The name is here.
we can take it from there. Well, if you go on LinkedIn and search for Jutta Eckstein, then you will find me. Yeah, and from there you also find my website with
Great.
information of all of that, and also of the books and so on. Yeah.
Awesome. So there you have it. For the ones that are tuning in on the video version, here you can see the name, so you know how to write it, even if I mispronounce it, and Utah
You
or.
didn't.
And well, thank you very much. It has been a very good conversation. I love this sustainability. There's another presenter that I need to get you in touch with because she's also gonna do some uh, new talk working on one. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Dankeschön.
me. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. The keynote speaker for today here at the Automation Star Conference on the first day. We are about to wrap up for the day. with the interviews. And don't tell everybody, but there's going to be a DJ here, and we're about to get a great party here at the conference. If you have the opportunity to come, this is the type of events that happen at the end of the day, so that you can not only learn a lot, have awesome conversations, but have some fun at the end. So we're about to go and have some fun, but stay tuned because tomorrow morning we're gonna be back with some more interviews. There are gonna be keynotes, talks, no more tutorials. This was only today. So stay tuned because Automation Start is not over yet, just the first day. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 2. So stay tuned. See you tomorrow. Jutta, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everybody, adios, Leandro. Adios, Jutta.
Yeah,
Auf Wiedersehen.
bye.
Bye. Adios.